And we are live. That's right. Little different today. For once, I can say JML is on assignment. So today, my special guest, I'm Fire Frank, and next to me, below wherever he is right now,
next to
me, there's Charlie. How you doing, Charlie?
Yo, good Wrestlemania weekend. Let's
The
go.
weekend is here. We're at 6 o'clock night here. We got 2 hours to SmackDown. All kinds of stuff going on tonight. Ring of Honor. I know if you're watching out there, we got all kinds of stuff happening. Busy weekend. So let's get to it. I think it was just 2 days ago that we had the 25th anniversary of the show we're looking at right now, which is WrestleMania 14. It makes me feel really old. I mean, this show happened when I was 10th grade, I think. So yeah. But yeah, I remember being really excited for it at the time. It was like, a lot of hype. Obviously, we had the Mike Tyson involvement in the lead up. We had, the big match, Austin Michaels. We'll get to later. So, what was your thoughts back then? How into this were you back in 1998?
I was super into this. It was my fourth WrestleMania. I went to a viewing party and I was the only Shawn Michaels fan there. Everybody was already ready for the craze that is Austin 316.
Oh, so you were like the lone guy.
Oh yeah. I'm like, how are you all turning your back on Michaels like this? Everyone was ready. Everyone was ready for it.
Yeah, it was. It was like the weird transition, right? Just 2 years earlier, we had Shawn getting his culminating moment, and 2 years later, we're here, and he's about to walk away for a while. So it's weird. It was a true passing of the torch, a true start of a new era, which you don't always see at WrestleMania, but that's like the classic thing you feel, like that classic feel of this is the guy. We'll talk about it a little more later. So anyway, let's get into it. So leading into the show, we got a nice little video package we open up with. I think the network has cut out the DX band playing a medley of the national anthem and God Bless America.
Oh yeah, they did.
I'm sorry, America the Beautiful. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they cut that off. I guess they purposely sounded like they were singing badly just to annoy everybody. I think they got a little bit of booze here. Shout out the DX band, Chris Warren, rest in peace. Unfortunately, passed away young. With Jim Johnson himself on guitar in the background, by the way.
Oh, was it?
Kind of cool. Yeah, if you see the guy with the kind of darkish hair with the glasses, that's the man who wrote a lot of your favorite songs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was
a little tidbit there.
So that was kind of cool that he was there playing guitar. So anyway, we had a little cool video package on the network. I did watch back on the network. For some reason, they redubbed the voiceover here. It's the same exact voiceover, but it's a different guy. I don't know why.
Huh.
That because then when they cut to and now the WrestleMania, it's a different voice, and you can tell. It's like, okay. Anyway, so we're here. Brought to you by M&M's. It does say in the bottom there. I remember this. I had the poster for this WrestleMania. It came in the WWF magazine. So it said something about MM meets 2000 because they were hyping up the year 2000 coming up in 2 years. Y2K, all that good stuff. So yeah, we start off JR and King, of course, classic duo. Welcoming us to the show, and right away we go right into it here. Opening match here because they already started the entrances in the free for all. So we're going into this. What is it? 15-team battle royal.
15-team battle royal.
So it's like the ultimate get everybody on the show. We got 30 people getting on this, and show opens. We got Kama Mustafa and Farouk coming to the ring of the nation at the time, and then we hear a familiar intro. Oh, we're at a rush.
Yep.
So for people who weren't watching this time, leading into the show, LOD had kind of they lost the tag titles to the Outlaws. They were having a little infighting. And then they kind of had this brawl on Raw a month or so before this. And then they weren't seen after that. So all of a sudden here they come, and these new, this LOD 2000 look.
LOD 2000 gear, yep.
Weird looking helmets, animals wearing shorts for the first time ever. Never saw his legs before, but here he was. Coming out with Sunny, which was the most random thing at the time. I guess they were insinuating that she put them back together. At the time, she really wasn't doing anything, so it's I guess we'll just have her manage them.
Yep.
So anyway, of course, they get a big pop here, as they always did. So we lead into this match. It's a battle royal. They've actually used this picture at the start of the match, like at Rumble for Rumble packages, which is weird because it's not a real Rumble, but it looks like it is. It's like it is.
And they couldn't stress enough. They couldn't stress enough that
right.
when one member of the team gets eliminated, the whole team
does too. Otherwise, we'd be here even longer, right?
They said that about 15 times.
I thought it was funny though. They used that picture. I'm like, first of all, you see the WrestleMania logo, and I know what it is. And second of all, if a Rumble has that many people in the ring, there's something wrong. There's way too many people. Anyway, so what do you think of this match? I want to get your thoughts. It's a standard battle royal.
Even back then, once you hear the LOD theme song, you know there's a
I mean, the winner's going to get a tag title shot at the next month. It turned out to be Unforgiven in your house. Yeah. So we come down to the LOD against the new Midnight Express, of course, everybody's favorite tag team of 1998.
Bombastic Bob.
Jim Cornette with his NWA Invasion story. But we've had, Bombastic Bart and Bodacious Bart, Bart Gunn and Bob at the time, Holly, future Hardcore Holly. And the other guy's a future guy who would be knocked out by Butterbean a year later. But anyway, they have, it goes down to them too. LOD handily disposed of them. Crowd pops. Yeah, so it wasn't very long. Didn't have to be.
No.
It's a battle royal. It's a bunch of guys in the ring, a bunch of random teams there, some teams at the time. The couple nation teams. We had the initial get together of Too Much / Too Cool here.
It was the Kurgan and
then they had like the former members of the Truth Commission. So it was Recon and Sniper, aka Bull Buchanan, is one of them. Future Bull Buchanan. So a bunch of random teams there. It was just a battle royal. I mean, you've seen one, you've seen a lot of them, and this one had 30 people in the ring at once. So yeah, it was just a little way. Obviously, it was a launch. They were trying to launch this new LOD look. They were trying to save them by, of course, everything had to be rebooted then, because they were like this relic of the past. Funny enough, because it's like we're starting this new era, and like everything in the past is like, oh, old. Who cares about that, right? The LOD always got to pop, and sad this turned out to be like their last Mania moment. So at least they had this, I guess. But it's sad looking back and thinking about it. Even looking at Hawk here, and 5 years later he'd be gone. So it's just this weird gear that they got crew cuts instead of their traditional mohawks.
Very cryptic, but about half the card isn't with us anymore.
Yeah, right. I mean,
looking back at this
event right away, we see the Fink. We see. I mean, we've got. Yeah, there's been some other matches later we'll talk about.
Yeah, very weird.
Was there anybody out there in chat? Big Bensky, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Kill Switch Jones. Oh, Russell Rice. Thanks for coming in, guys. So anyway, from there, that match ends. They didn't show the. Okay, where are we at now? Yeah, this match ends. It leaves you doing win in 8 minutes. We move on. They show like some clips of different stuff in the Mania week leading up. The Stone Cold's on and the Reachers and all this stuff.
The DX public workout where Michael's not knocked with the battery.
Yeah, he just gets nailed. It's hilarious. Good thing it didn't hurt him. Jeez. Anyway, we move on to our light heavyweight title match. Remember that title? Yeah, light heavyweight title match. WWF's answer to the WCW Cruiserweight division at the time. Taka Michinoku, the champ, the guy they were really pushing hard around this time, against young Aguila, a.k.a. the future S.A. Rios, only 19 here.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. He was.
S.A. Rios without the mask. Well, right after this, he was also Papi Chulo on Shotgun Saturday Night for a while, but then comes back as S.A. Rios, who only really his lasting legacy is introducing Lita.
Yeah.
But talented guy, like even here, 19 years old, this guy's already good. Like they put on what can you say about this match? It's only about 5 minutes, but they do some cool high spots. Crowd is kind of dead, but they get into like the Aguila gets this crazy. He always had this great moonsault, but here he just nails this moonsault to the outside. The height is ridiculous, right? Ridiculous height.
Even Taka onto the outside was
that little jump to the top, and then he jumps off, and like JR's marking out. Oh my God, this King's trying his traditional lame jokes, but even he was getting impressed by some of these moves here. Aguila actually got a lot of offense here. He was getting most of the near falls and a little comebacks. And Taka wins with his Patton and Michinoku driver in about 5.5 minutes. What do you think of the match?
It was a spot fest for the cruiserweights. They couldn't possibly compete with the cruiserweights WCW had at the time, but
right.
It was what it was.
Yeah, it was a fine little spot. I mean, like I said, the crowd was kind of dead, but they kind of got into it.
Yeah,
it was a fast paced, easy to watch, harmless match. Taka wins here, retains the title. Shortly after this, they kind of gave up on this. They had Kaientai come in, they were feuding, and then he joins them. The whole Val Venus storyline, that's a story for another day. Kind of came a comedy character after that, unfortunately. But yeah, it was kind of like their version of the cruiserweight division, and they never really went full bore yet here. Obviously, years later, we start seeing some smaller guys head to the top of the card. We move on to I think it's kind of quite famous backstage interview with The Rock here.
Oh yeah,
with celebrity guest Jennifer Flowers, aka one of Bill Clinton's many affairs at the time. This was like right around the time he was getting in trouble for the whole Lewinsky thing, so it was definitely timely. Even though I think she was in the news about a year or so before that, but it was definitely a timely thing, and you could tell a definite change in like what kind of celebrities they were going to bring in.
Yeah,
right. And I mean, it was actually probably at the time it probably turned a few heads. So we have this interview. The Rock is basically morphing into his final form here, right?
Yep.
It's just she asked him what he would do if he's the president. He goes, I won't repeat half the stuff he says, but
yeah, I wouldn't fly today.
Classic Rock.
It certainly wouldn't fly today. Half that
promo. The most notable thing is the debut of. Well, here he said, "If you smell what I'm cooking," but that's essentially the first time we ever heard him say that. So this is famous for that, at least. Yeah, right. You can see right here, Rocky. This guy, if you were watching right there, you're like, okay, this guy's going to be big, like really soon.
Definitely.
So, yeah, that was a cool little interview. Got his character over. So then we move on. We see the DX band again because we have Triple H coming out for this European title.
This time without lyrics.
Without lyrics, that we would see that later. But so we've got Triple H, the then reigning European champion, taking on the challenge of Owen Hart, who he had just won the title back from a couple weeks ago on Raw. They showed he goaded him into a match when he was injured and had his cast on his foot, and he beat him with like a pseudo ankle lock. So anyway, you had Owen Hart after the whole Montreal. He had come back, and they set up, him and Shawn to have this feud. Never really panned out. It's really bad timing for Owen here, really, considering they were headed to Mania, with the Austin stuff. So he kind of got sidelined into this mid-card feud and like just passed on to Triple H. But, obviously Triple H on the rise here, and he would be just the next night taking over DX. So this was definitely, he was rising up the card here. We've got China out there, and then Commissioner Slaughter, as the Fink puts it, he's exercising his authority, and he's going to be handcuffed to China so she doesn't, interfere in this match. I mean, he could have just banned her from ringside or something. But.
What a 90s stipulation.
Right?
Like
the authority figure, right? And Slaughter's like getting ready. He can't even, and he's having a hard time, and the King's just bragging on him. He's like, he can't get thing on. He goes, China's already got handcuffs because she has like the little handcuff hanging from her ear. So yeah, so this is very 90s, a 90s thing. So yeah, he handcuffs her. So they have a match. What would you think of this match? It's a pretty good match, I'd say. It
was good storytelling.
Yeah, they'd had a bit of a feud here going for a while, and yeah, obviously these two guys going in the ring, they're gonna have a pretty good match, and they did. Of course, shenanigans are gonna happen here.
Triple H held the arms on the pedigree.
Yes, he did, right?
Yeah, which he stopped doing shortly after.
Even though he do that, but
I know by 15 he stopped doing that.
Yeah, certain people couldn't take that like that. Of course, Owen's a pro; he's going to take it like that. So anyway, we've got, of course, what's going to happen here. China throws the dreaded powder in the eyes of Slaughter, and jumps up on the apron, and the referee's not looking, and like we're watching AEW Dynamite here, and nailed him with the low blow. It was really good looking low blow, so it looked like she really nailed him.
These refs, man, during the Taker and Kane match too, these refs just aren't there.
Yeah, they're all over the place. This is actually, we talked about a morbid situation here. We had Tim White here refereeing, who's about to get in the Hall of Fame tonight.
Yeah,
but Tim White in the ring, we had Owen in the ring, China ringside, the Fink announcing. So yeah. So what did you think of this finish here? Besides the pedigree, right? Or a good-looking pedigree.
It was good. We had China with the low blow, then turned into pedigree and took it home. It was a good finish. set Triple H where he needed to be on the card.
So we move on here, and we're going on to a little video package for our mixed tag match here. We've got marvelous Mark Merrow at the time with Sable taking on the artist formerly known as Goldust and Luna Vachon. Yeah, what do you remember about this feud? This was kind of like a little funny thing. Merrow and Sable were kind of breaking up, but then they kind of got dragged into this little feud after Merrow and Goldust had a little bit of a tag team, and then Luna and Sable went at it. So, what were you thinking at the time? Were you big into this feud?
No, I was like everybody else at that time, just looking at Sable.
Yeah, she was mega over at the show, clearly. Yeah, so she comes out. Merrow's doing his little boxing thing. She comes out with the serious look. This is her first match, really. So, yeah, I mean, this is a mixed tag. Like, they perfectly booked this. Like, all the spots she got in, it was just made her look good. I mean, she nails Goldust on more than one occasion here, tries to pin him. She's like the star of the match here. Luna did a great job here carrying her.
For her to hit that power bomb in the TKO in her first match was
looked good too. Looked good, yeah. Especially the TKO there, and even I think even the King says she hit that better than Mark
Merrow. She did. There's no lie. He hit it earlier in the match. Sable looked better.
Yeah, it was a good looking move. I mean, like I said, it wasn't much to it. Like Merrow and Goldust could work together. They're two pros. They had a little bit of thing, and like, ladies get involved. It was kept simple. It was all about making her look good, and the crowd ate it up. Big pops throughout the match, so big Sable chance. So yeah, this was kind of like the start of her rise throughout the year of 1998. Yeah, it was fun. It's fun. It's a wrestling. It's a spectacle. At the time, it was fun. So we'll move on from there. So we've got, and then at the end, Merrow's celebrating like he did something. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, he pulls Sable back in the ring just to brag about himself.
All right, so yeah, they get Merrow and Sable get the win mainly because Sable did all the work there, as it looks like. They would go on the feud, and then they'd break right after that. She's feud with Merrow was the whole thing. We'll talk about that another time. So next we get the former Colonel Robert Parker, Tennessee Lee, enters the ring. Introduces Jennifer Flowers with Jeff Jarrett, comes down to the ring here. Yeah, nice pyro, his classic theme. Yeah, he had been back and he had done like the shoot gimmick. Then he was like with the NWA faction. And he just went back to his old Double J thing out of the blue here, which was kind of weird. It wasn't really working, so they just kind of threw him back with this, and they brought in the former Colonel Parker to be his manager. It didn't really fit at the time, but what'd you think about that? It was kind of weird, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Like you bring in a guy from WCW, and it's like, who is he? Like we know who he was if you watch Nitro, but if you didn't watch Nitro, like who's this guy?
Yeah,
a big time wrestler in his own right. Robert Fuller, legend down there in Tennessee area in the Memphis territories. So he introduces her and Miss Flowers as our guest ring announcer. She did a pretty good job, I thought.
She did.
Yeah, she seemed like she got into it.
She had no clue who anybody was.
No, she didn't, but she tried. She was game and she tried.
Yeah.
A lot of people in chat. Thanks, guys, for coming in. I appreciate you guys. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. Happy birthday, Maka. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Anyway, so we go to the Intercontinental Championship match with champion The Rock here, wearing the classic IC belt, which this was the last appearance of that title until Cody brought it back, believe it or not.
Oh, they switched to the purple strap after this.
The next night we got that redesigned belt. Little, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what you call that belt.
The Attitude Era purple strap.
It was like an oval with a shorter. It was really odd. But yeah, this is the last appearance of this belt. Actually, also last appearance of Winged Eagle, but we actually saw it on Raw, but we didn't see this title after this show. So this last time to see that belt for quite some time. Cody brought it back in what was that? 2011. Yeah. So anyway, we got The Rock defending against Ken Shamrock. They've had going into the show, they've had a feud for a couple months. They had a Rumble match where Shamrock appeared to win the title, and The Rock, he took brass knuckles and put him in Shamrock's trunk. So the referee thought that he hit him.
Wow. Oh, man, I haven't watched that.
We started this feud. We may have to do that Rumble someday. Yeah, it was kind of a clever finish. So, this lead up in the show, Rock kept attacking Shamrock. They show that clip of one of the worst chair shots you'll ever see. Like, worse is and devastating.
Yeah.
He dares him to hit him, and he just wails him with his chair in the face.
Yep.
Ridiculous. Oh,
I vividly remember that chair shot.
Oh, that's so loud. Like, he just took it to it's just, oh, God. Even, I mean, I know they said, well, back then we didn't know. I'm like, come on, guys. You have to know it's not good. I don't care if it's a sheet metal.
Chair shots equal concussions? Since when?
He swung that like it was a baseball bat. It was like an Aaron Judge home run swing right to his face. I don't know. He didn't break his nose. But anyway, that was the build-up. So Shamrock is out for the revenge and the title here. Kind of a quick match here. Like, it was.
Yeah, I remember
Shamrock was pretty much dominating, and Rock got his spots, and he drops the people's elbow to like no response because he just started doing it.
I remember not really digging this match when I watched it live, and today made no difference. I think for a Mania match, they could have gone a lot better than this.
Yeah, it was a little short. I don't know. Maybe they were running short on time for something, and they wanted to cut this down. But it seemed like they cut out a couple minutes because it only ran about 4.5 minutes. So it wasn't much of a match. It was just more about the story here, which is Shamrock is going nuts. The referee takes a quick bump. Another referee issue here. Rock nails him with a chair again, which he just kind of no-sells it and just goes crazy. He goes in the classic Shamrock beast mode, destroys Rock, taps him out with the ankle lock right away. Won't relinquish the hold. The Nation comes in and gets beat up.
Farouk comes and just like lets Rock go.
Yeah, Rock has been being such a jerk to him, so that was like that was kind of like he had enough, so he just walks off. The crowd goes nuts. That would lead to them kicking Farouk out the Nation the next night on Raw. But yeah, that was a pretty funny spot. He's just beating up all these referees that were just like local wrestlers, clearly dressed as referees because you've never seen these guys before.
Yeah.
And then whoever this guy with the suit on, he must be another local wrestler. We got Pat Patterson, but this guy just I don't know why he gets in Shamrock's face. He gets suplexed.
That poor suit that just takes a bad belly-to-belly on.
He was a wrestler. He didn't take it very well. Yeah, I don't know who this guy was, but Pat Patterson even went, whoa.
Yeah.
So he gets a beating, and then I always hated that finish. The referee has reversed his decision.
Yep.
Because he's kicking too much butt here. It's too much. I mean, we know the rule. It was just a weird, like, it's like they wanted to keep Shamrock strong. They didn't want to put the title on, take the title off Rock here. They wanted to keep him strong. So they booked this. Like I said, it wasn't much of a match, but the post-match stuff was fun. The best part comes when Fink announces the results. They're revealing Rock on that stretcher, and he just holds
out. Yeah,
that's just like, okay, that's the Rock right there. Shamrock comes down, knocks him off, beats him up some more. Crowd is going nuts, but yeah. So like he didn't win the title, but he destroyed him. The crowd went nuts for it. So we didn't think too much of it, but the crowd ate it up. So it is what it is, right? Any more thoughts on this, or we can move on?
We can move on to the next
one. All right. That sounds good. So we're going to move on to our tag team title match of the night. Dumpster match, first ever.
I completely forgot that Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie won this one.
Yeah, this was like set up by that. Terry Funk had come back as Chainsaw Charlie. Apparently, according to Mick Foley, for some reason, Terry Funk decided he wanted to be this character, which was just him wearing pantyhose with powder on him over his head, and overalls, and he's got like a chainsaw that has obviously the chain taken off, so he's just ramming up, looking like.
But if the announcers are still going to refer to you as Terry Funk, why even bother with the name change?
Yeah, this was like we talked about Jim Ross being cranky now. That was just Jim, like, he's not going to call him change. And by this show, he doesn't even have the thing over his head. He's got his Terry Funk shirt on, so he's pretty much Terry Funk here. So they're challenging. So they had this. The two of them had a friendly match on Raw 2 months before this, and they were fighting this conveniently placed dumpster. Cactus dives into it, and the New Age Outlaws just came out for whatever reason. They come out, they shut the dumpster and throw it off the stage, which didn't look so bad, but they played it off as a serious thing.
They played it off as catastrophic as fuck,
which was fine, all well and good, except that you saw when he jumped in all the packing peanuts flying out. And to tap it all off, they actually come back at the end of that Raw to fight off DX and everybody in the Outlaws because they were leading up to that tag match at that No Way Out. It was just, and for some reason they have Terry Funk comes out in a gown, a hospital gown, Cactus Jack
Cactus
Jack has an ivy attached to him. It's so ridiculous.
Oh man,
He's knowing his gear. For some reason, he's got no shoes. He's got his socks on. Terry Funk's in a gown and nothing ridiculous. Thankfully, they didn't shoot from behind. I don't know what's going on here. I just remembered that thinking about the build-up. So anyway, they said, of course, the natural solution, we're going to create this dumpster match. So the winner would have to you take your two opponents and put them in a dumpster and close the lid. It's like a casket match, but with a dumpster, right?
Yeah.
So we got the Outlaws coming out. They're pre-DX. They would join DX just the very next night, but they're pretty much getting their act down pack here. We get the classic intro, which is he had just started doing that, Road Dogg. Yeah. Although he kind of says in reverse. He says New Age Outlaws first, then their names. They got like their homemade shirts. They're wearing half shirts.
Yeah, the Road Dogg 420 and the Mr.
Road Dogg 420, and then he's got one of my favorite in jokes there. If you look at his shirt, Road Dogg, it says "Look, Ma, no curse," which was a reference to the Armstrong curse, which was a joke about how all the Armstrong families were just like jobbers all the time in WCW.
Okay. I was wondering.
That's what the Armstrong curse was. It was like a joke. I mean, his father was a big star, Bob Armstrong. Even Brad had his moments, but like they were pretty much all. Even Road Dogg himself had a cup of coffee in WCW doing some TV squashes, including against the future Triple H. Believe it or not, if anybody wants to look that up.
I gotta check that out. Wait. So terrorizing.
Terrorizing. Actually, I think it is terrorizing. Not even John Paul Levesque at the time. Although I think there's also, or it might be when he's John Paul Levesque. I think it might be both, actually.
You gotta post the YouTube link.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll put it in the comments for everybody to check it out. Anyway, so
oh my god.
Yeah, so the Outlaws, they're getting over here. The crowd is starting to sing along with them a little bit. So they're pretty much at their final form almost, and like it pretty much just took that joining of DX to really put them over the top. So this is just like a crazy brawl. It's a crazy brawl, right? What do you think of this match? It's just two guys. They're just beating each other.
That spot that they took off the ladder into the dumpster. Oh my god,
that was bad.
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, it didn't look right. And then like they power bomb Funk into it looked really bad. And he had that big bruise on his back. It was like,
yeah.
It's just them taking turns, just hitting each other as hard as they could. It seemed
pretty much
slamming the dumpster on each other. Like they weren't holding anything back. They brawl to the back. We get kind of a goofy finish. Terry Funk puts them on this forklift, dumps the Outlaws into this other convenient dumpster that's backstage.
It just happened to be there backstage.
It's a regular dumpster, I guess. And then they close the lid. They win the match of the titles. Although the next night on Raw, it would be a whole thing where they strip the titles because that wasn't the right dumpster, apparently. Not the designated dumpster, but
that's why I don't remember them as tag team champions.
Yeah, the next night they kind of did a rematch with like they basically said the titles were vacant, so it's a rematch with the Outlaws, and then it's a cage match, and then X-Pac had returned tonight. Him and Triple H come out, interfere, letting the Outlaws win, which was the official joining of the Outlaws DX. Okay. They'd already been kind of associates, but this was like the Triple H forming his new DX army, as he called it.
Yep.
So yeah, so they win here, but it turns out they didn't. So yet another match where the winner didn't really win, as we just saw with the camera. Yeah. So anyway, it was good fun, right? Some brutal looking some spots there, as you said. All right, so we're going to go into it. Well, we got a nice video package here recapping the Undertaker and Kane storyline, which this is their first match.
You're a murderer!
Murderer. This whole angle. Talk about build up. We talk about long build ups. We talk about the bloodline. This literally started the summer before he had a secret that he held over Taker, as the Taker went back to him managing him, and then he just couldn't take it anymore. And he's I'm going to tell the truth. So they had this whole backstory of Paul Bearer was a young intern at the funeral home, which apparently, Undertaker, we know he was like this dead man, whatever he was supposed to be, but apparently now he's just a kid of his parents ran a funeral home. And there was a fire, and supposedly the parents and his younger brother were killed, but then he's alive. And it was always cool because they used the name Kane, which for those trivia note, that was Undertaker's original name for about a week, Kane the Undertaker, which only made it to air once. And so it's kind of like they went back to that. I mean, Bruce Pritchard did talk about it being Kane, as in Cain and Abel, obviously the first, as he put it, the first man to commit murder. Yeah, but it was like we had so we've got Kane here. He debuts and at the first Hell in a Cell, Bad Blood, Shawn and Taker. The lights go out. You hear that music for the first time, and he comes out looking like Michael Myers and Jason combined movie. that music, the pyro, the look, which I thought was his best look here, right? He just looks so cool, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, the outfit it just worked for him. So anyway, they had a big build up for this. Taker didn't want to fight him. We've been through this recently with Ray and Dom, but this went on for a lot longer. I think maybe about the same time. So we're going from like October all the way up to the Rumble, where they had a fake reunion. Then it was a setup with Kane and Paul Bearer. They put him in the casket. They light it on fire. He disappears. This recap is really good. Good job, Michael Cole, narrating this. Young Michael Cole. Taker comes back, says, "Okay, I'm going to fight you." They set up for Mania, of course, and that's a good way. Like for a time where everything was being hot shot, they held this off to the right spot. Mania, obviously, the first match. So we're gonna have this match, which is the semi-main event. So first we get special guest ring announcer, Mr. Pete Rose, would be Hall of Famer, still is not, obviously, for his gambling problem. So he was always in the news. It was just kind of a weird fit, right? Like, why is this guy on this WrestleMania? But he comes out, he immediately heals in the crowd for reasons. Me being a Yankee fan, not liking Boston, I got a kick out of this. We're watching live. Me and my dad thought it was funny. He comes out insulting the crowd, calls them the city of losers, just goes through all the references. And Kane just interrupts him, comes to the ring. Cool entrance, like we said. The fire, the dark lights, everything. Comes in the ring and starts, which would become a tradition. He just tombstones Pete Rose to a huge pop here. he protected him pretty good, but he went up for it. Like, I'll give Pete this credit. Like Kane protected him really good, but he went up for it. Anyway, this is a big match. Taker comes out, great entrance here, right? Talk about this entrance.
Oh yeah,
the Druids, the
Druids,
the torches. He comes out with this cape, with this hood thing. It was just like this really cool entrance, as he always had. Raises the lights. So we get to this match here. Pretty good big man match. Like I said, they had some previous matches when back when he was Isaac Yankem and Fake Diesel. This was like his big break here as Kane. He was the perfect person to play this role.
Oh, absolutely.
Taker himself really vouched for him. I just watched that recent biography on Kane. Taker himself really wanted to work with him because he knew he was talented big man. And this was a fun like hoss fight. It's not your 5-star match, but it's a pretty good first encounter here.
Two big guys that can throw their weight around. It was a great match.
Both impressive. Taker that does that dive and then Kane just moves out of the way, slams into the table. Looks really cool. Taker loved to bust that no hands dive over the top. I mean, if you're going to question this man's athleticism, my God, no hands dive over the top here. It was a good back and forth battle. Like Kane already was, like I said, his first big match here. He was already right into this role. He had it down pat here. He's like the monster that won't stop coming at you, which was, used to be Taker's thing. So Taker has to kind of change his style to fight from behind. So Kane nails him with a tombstone. He kicks out. And Undertaker tombstones him, and he kicks out, which JR sells like, oh my God, nobody's kicked out of this.
3 times.
He winds up nailing him 3 times, finally enough to just barely get the 3 count. He actually
he kicks out at like 3.1.
Even here, Taker actually even hooks the leg, which he never did. Just enough was enough. Kane barely just kicks out after 3. Post-match, Paul Bearer decides to get a chair and orders Kane to attack Taker with the chair, which he does, and then Taker sits up, and we're not finished yet. Just the first battle.
Kane looked strong in his loss.
Yeah. Right, he was beat, but just barely, and then he got his heat back right after, and we went right to that Inferno match the next month. So so this feud would continue, and obviously there'd be variations of this for a long time to come. But for a first match, it was a nice battle. It's not your best match ever, but it's for a solid big man battle. 2 great characters, great storytelling. I like this match a lot. So like a little bit of a sleeper match for me in Mania history, just the whole setup and everything. So believe it or not, we come right to our main event next. So after this cool video package with the legends, actually all of them now passed away, right? So it's kind of sad seeing that. Great videos they were doing at the time. But anyway, we get to our main event. We get that classic video of both the competitors walking backstage. Austin's walking from his dressing room right to Gorilla. You see he walks right past Vince, Bruce Pritchard, right to the entrance. big pop, obviously, for Austin. Mike Tyson comes out with his DX shirt because he had joined DX in the lead up here. With his DX rap remix there, that's kind of like was like the which would kind of be the template for X-Pac's theme later on. But almost forgot about the song not the words, but like the beat was the same thing. But yeah, so he comes out. He's ostensibly the heel, but he's shaking hands with the fans anyway. Big pop for him. At the time, Tyson was pretty hot. This is coming off his suspension for the whole Holyfield ear thing. So this is like a year later. He hasn't gone back to boxing yet. He's still suspended for boxing, and they call him up, and it's like the perfect time to bring him in. He was supposed to be guest referee all the way back in '90 before he was knocked out by Buster Douglas, and they replaced him. He was supposed to be a referee for a Savage Hogan match. So this is he's been waiting to do this for a long time. He's a real fan. Have you ever listened to Tyson talk about wrestling? He's a real fan.
I know. He's a real fan.
So here he's got like a smile from ear to ear the entire time, even though he's supposed to be a heel. So we get the DX band plays Sean out live with lyrics. Like I said, Jim Johnson playing the guitar right there. Cool entrance from Sean. The original DX with the video. It was like at the time that was like state of the art. The video coming in and out, the clips of them and the music. Definitely very 90s.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Speaking of very 90s, all the South Park signs.
Yeah, a lot of South Park signs. This is the first season of South Park, guys.
Yeah, either had South Park signs or 316 signs.
316, yeah, exactly, pretty much, or variations, or at the time, everybody's favorite thing was South Park characters as wrestlers. That was the thing at the time. So you see a lot of those signs. Anyway, we get our title match here. Sean has already got that bad back injury that would cause him to retire for the next 4 years. He missed the paper before this, so you can see right away he's not in the best condition, both mentally and physically. Obviously,
no,
he was not very happy here. He was that was a peak Sean, pilled out. And this back injury didn't help. He was in a bad mood. He had to lose the title. He was just everything was coming to a head here. But I don't know how he did this match if his back was that bad. In the way
Poor Austin always getting pilled out. Shawn Michaels, that King of the Ring.
Yeah. Yeah, right. They never got to have that classic battle they could have had. They had some stuff on house shows. I saw some but they never got to have like that big. Yeah, this match is fine. It's not what it could be. I think Austin and both of them aren't happy with how it turned out. But I mean, for the condition he was in, if you believe it or not, I don't know. But he looked pretty much in pain this match, and he takes that first bump. And I'm like, oh, God. And he continues taking these crazy Sean bumps.
Yeah.
With bad back. And you can see it in his face the whole time. Even the announcers are selling it. Pretty quickly, Triple H is trying to get thrown out of ringside because they keep interfering. But, they got Tyson there, so everything's fine. He's on the outside ring as an enforcer, whatever that means. They have a pretty good match. I mean, like for the condition Sean's in, Austin still had that neck issue. Obviously, he was never the same after that. So he was still – they kind of had to create a new style. He went from being a technical Austin to just like this crazy brawl, which we knew as the Attitude Era brawl style, main event style, brawling around the ring. They went back to where the band was at. Sean hits with the drum stand. Sean's selling the back, but it's not really selling because he's taking these crazy bumps. He takes one that trademark flip. Oh man, it looked bad.
Yeah.
You can tell his face. I was like, oh God,
he was in pain.
Oh man, I don't know how he continued this match, but he's game. He can continue on. He actually got quite a bit of offense in this for a guy that was in terrible shape. He works over Austin's legs forever because he has that knee brace, so that was the obvious thing. We build to another ref bump. Yes, even in 1998, we had a lot of ref bumps. Sean kips up, hits the big elbow, sets up for Sweet Chin Music, of course. They get a cool little reversal spot. He reverses that. And it's like this little spin move, which was later in like the N64 games. Remember, you can use it as one of the reversal. Cool little spin into a stunner. Mike Tyson jumps in the ring and counts really fast.
Oh my God, the fastest.
I guess that was the point, but it was just really weird because it came out of nowhere. So Austin, this is his first. He gets his first world title here. Big moment, obviously. Post match, Sean is upset, of course. Tyson's holding up the Austin shirt. He gets in his face. He goes to hit him. He blocks him, knocks him out. Knocks him out as Sean is laying in the mat chewing gum. Sean defiant to the end. He definitely wasn't happy when Tyson
reminded me of when he had the lollipop in the ankle lock.
Yeah. But you can see his face. He didn't like the whole he was mad enough that he had to lose, and he puts the shirt over him. He was not happy. You could tell. But anyway, Austin and Tyson celebrate. You think he'd rip the shirt off, but he leaves the DX shirt on for some reason. He just holds up the Austin shirt. I think he was trying to tell him to put it on, but Mike was in his own world. Yeah, so the story kind of came. Well, they had a post-show conference, which they don't show much, where Austin and Tyson basically came out with the story. The storyline was they were in cahoots all along, like that. Their little him joining DX, the little scuffle they had on Raw. That was all their plan to get into DX's head. But they never really played up on TV after that. They didn't really mention it, honestly. But that was kind of the story they were trying to tell here, which was kind of weird for your babyface champion. But Austin wasn't your traditional babyface. And the way Sean had been, screwing over everybody on the way to this show, it was him getting his comeuppance. It wasn't Brett putting over Austin, which probably was the original thing, but it was moving from the guy from the new generation to the Attitude Era, which had pretty much started by now. But this was like the show where it's like, okay, this is our guy. We're crowning him tonight. This is it. Which it did feel like a big moment there at the end. Him holding up, like I said, the classic Wing Eagle title that the next night Vince would give him the big one with the blue strap, which was kind of cool at the time. Later on, they'd change it to a black strap and change the logo, or he would have the rattlesnake belt, of course, the smoking skull, whatever they called that. Which for him it worked. But yeah, it was pretty cool. The match, like we said, it wasn't bad, but it could have been better. But for the circumstances, it did what it had to do. Put over Austin Strong.
Name another wrestler that could go out there and put on that match injured as Sean.
Yeah.
No,
and honestly,
it's not possible.
Honestly, if he wasn't so angry, he probably would have done even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did. So it was a pretty impressive performance. I will give him that. Yeah, we don't see him after this for 4 more years. So he had that match with Triple H at SummerSlam, outside of a one-off match he did in his independent promotion where he was training kids, students. It's on YouTube. You can find it. He had this random match in the year 2000 before he had his back surgery, I guess, or right after he had his back surgery. But yeah, so a fun show. It's easy to watch. I don't know about you. I find it very easy to watch this show.
Yeah, it was a good Mania.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your top quality, match to match. I know we're talking about this better ones here, match quality wise, but as far as like a fun show, nothing's really terrible. Honestly, I mean, unless the Battle Royal is a Battle Royal. Only match I would say wasn't that great. Well, the Rock and Shamrock wasn't much of a match, so that's the only thing I would say about that. But everything else was pretty fun.
Yeah,
it was pretty much sending the crowd home happy for the most part on the show, which is what you should do at WrestleMania. So yeah, it was a home run, and obviously it was the Tyson involvement. They get a big buy right here, much better than they did the year before, which it's down a lot. So this was pretty much them saying we're back, essentially. And a month after this, a couple weeks later, they beat Nitro in the ratings for the first time, and then they pretty much after another month of that, they pretty much take over and just dominate from there. Get higher and higher the next couple of years. So it's like a turning point in the whole thing. I think Kevin Nash himself said that he saw Tyson was there and they'll respond. He watched this Mania live on pay-per-view and said, "You know what? We're done." That's what he said. We're done. He said that himself. He was telling everybody backstage, "No, you don't understand. We're done."
It was a good dawning of the Attitude Era. This WrestleMania.
It definitely was. It's a perfect culmination, I would say. What else can you do? This is your guy. We're going with this guy. We're changing our characters. We're more serious now. We're more reality based, even though we have some goofy stuff still going on. So just a different philosophy. It was just then saying, "Okay, well, I'll listen to you guys. Let's just go for it," and it worked for them, obviously.
Yep.
And as like I said, I was in a perfect age for this. I was in high school at the time, so it was right on time for like us growing up and taking it to the next level from the cartoonish era when I was a kid to this. So yeah, definitely one of underrated Mania, I would say. Maybe not quality wise, but just as far as being memorable, being a fun show, easy to watch. So yeah, fun show. What's the chat thing? Anybody saying anything in the chat right now? How we looking? Is pizza? All right, your pizza's there. That's good to know. It's always good to have pizza on a Friday night. So anyway, thanks, guys. Charlie, you got anything else you want to mention here?
No, I'm good. I'm hyped
ready for Mania.
SmackDown in an hour.
We got SmackDown. We got the Hall of Fame. We got got all kinds of shows going on at Fight Tonight. You've got, for everybody that actually wants to watch the fake Ring of Honor, you can watch that. So it's got a good card on it. Eddie Claudio for the ROH title, so that should be fun. My hometown boy, Eddie Kingston. But anyway, enjoy the weekend, guys. If whatever you're watching Mania, watching one of these million shows that's going on, enjoy the weekend. And thanks for hanging out with us for the first time. 2/3 of the Trios champions. For the first time, we're here at Tag Team. So it's been fun. Thanks for joining me, Charlie. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining us in chat. We'll see you soon. Thanks for all the support. Shout out to JML. Hope he's having a good time. We'll see you very soon, hopefully. We'll definitely have to talk about all the things that happened at Mania this week. So,
oh yeah.
All right, guys. So have a good night. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.